Welcome to Find You Fridays. Oh dear, we've got the wrong microphone. Oh no, hang on. Come on. Oh, what's going on? Here we go. Welcome to Find You Fridays. That was a fun start, wasn't it? Did you like the robot? That's how we started today. We're starting as robots. Oh dear. No robots for us today. We have resolved that issue because what happens is my computer is requiring and has from pretty much the moment I bought it to have an exterior microphone because the internal one just makes me sound like a robot, and that's not fun for you guys. So because I am actually a real human, I'm a real girl. Yeah. Here we go. So yeah, that was a weird voice. As soon as I realized, I was like, oh shit. So there we go. We're all sorted. We're back to normal. We're sounding good. So just doing those couple of little background admin-y thingies, you know, just getting the PayPal link up there. We're getting the all the bits and bobs. Feel free to share us out. And let me know, how has your week been? I'm curious to know. Because, oh my goodness, she's been a jolly intense one for me, that is for sure. I've had an amazing day week at work, which is just incredible. I got to be on, as some of you may or may not know, I work for a company that does cleaning. And one of my absolute favorite things to do is, and the reason why I became a cleaner in the first place is because I actually really enjoy the challenge and the process and the outcomes of hoard, trauma, squalor jobs. It's not for everybody, and we know this, but it is for me. And I am so grateful that I'm working for a company that does get hired to do these kinds of jobs. And I just wish to acknowledge those very brave souls who have to go through these processes. It's incredibly intense process for the homeowner. And thank you so much, Melinda. I appreciate you. Oh, job interview. And so this week has seen me being able to shine my light as the uniquely me being that I be, and really assist this homeowner with this, in a way of me just being bright and sparkly, yet empathetic. And there is a lot of background that I actually have within this hoarding disorder area of humanity, and from all sorts of different perspectives. And whether it be possessions or emotional hoarding or people hoarding, or there's so many different ways it shows up in our world. And there was many a time where myself and the other members of the team, people that hired us, the external company or organization rather that hired us as the specialists in our area, that really appreciated my input and my contribution to this particular client. And I know they're so pretty. They're even better when I don't put my hand behind them. There we go. So gorgeous. I love them too. I've also got on my neck down here, I've actually got my Merlinite is down here today. So we're doing lots of great communication stuff today, heart-centered communication stuff, because I certainly woke up in a very interesting space, which I won't tell you about because it's a bit of a horrific dream actually, but it gave me some awarenesses around some other things, which was really awesome. Righty-ho. So okie dokie. Let us get into our reading for the week. I look forward to maybe sharing some time with you, Melinda, later on, and you can tell me about your job interview or on here, whichever way you feel most comfortable. So let's have a look at this week coming. Let's see. Have we got any funny moon stuff happening? No. So we've got another week off, which is nice. But so the next full moon is happening the night of the 26th, the morning of the 27th, as often happens. So because it happens in that day of the 27th, it's classed as the 27th, but of course we feel it on the 26th and can access those energies on the 26th, but that's not this week. So we've got a sort of like a little bit of breathing space this week. And with that, I haven't actually kept up to date with things like retrogrades and stuff this week. I've just been a little bit in an integration space with the Reiki energies that I'm currently experiencing and integrating and remembering, I should say, because I feel like I've known Reiki before. And of course, you guys knew that I was heading off to my first Reiki class. Leanne Bennett is running it, and she has over 30 years experience with Reiki, and I'm just so grateful for her and her knowledge and her honoring of the lineage, and because there's a lot to it. And so I'll tell you more about that in a little while, my experiences with that so far. And yeah, it's so beautiful, such a beautiful, beautiful process. So, but let me know, how has your week been? How have you guys gone? I was asked on Sunday at the Red Tent Women's Gathering that I attend, how's your month been? And I said, I don't know. I can't remember beyond the last 3 days. So I'd love to know, how's your week been since our last catch up? And let me know. Pop it in the chat there. Did you struggle with anything this week? How were your emotions? Were you up, down, neutral? Let me know. I'd love to know. So let us pull through these weekly reading for the week to come from Saturday the 18th of November right through to the 24th. It's asking our teams and source, how can we best work with all these energies of this week to come? Oh, goodness. Some lovely energies moving there already. So get the sense we're going to have a wonderful session today. Lovely podcast. I've managed to get down to the beach today to have some friend time, and got to do a little practice with my Reiki today, and had some energetic facelift sort of flowing in and around there too. Super fun. Super duper fun. Love it. Because I have hot Reiki hands. Who knew? Kind of not surprised, but yeah. So for the week to come from the 18th of November through to the 24th, blah. The first card that we've got is to nurture. Okay, so for this week to come, we have to nurture, as you nurture a child, you nurture your own inner child. Both activities are important for you right now. So what is coming up as I read this is there's going to be a real strong emphasis on doing your inner child work this week. There's going to be the universe, the source, the team, your team is going to be supporting you beautifully in being able to work with your inner child to start tackling some of those issues. So if you notice things coming up around anger, and it just seems to be like from your conscious adult space, you're like going, what the hell? Like, why am I so unreasonably angry or like beyond upset about something? Ask yourself this one little question. Hi, Julie. Ask yourself, truth, when did I first feel this way? And be open to knowing that information. Because as you drop into that space of asking that, that'll be actually tapping into your inner child. And it'll bring up some stuff. And so make sure you've got the space to do that. But at the same time, be honoring of that. So if it's, say, at work and you're like getting really, really, really angry and frustrated with a coworker, but there doesn't seem to be any particular place why that's there and why it's being activated, ask yourself that question. So, truth, when did I first feel like this in my life? Open to the information. And if you can't process that through and have that heartfelt conversation with your inner child about that at that time, say thank you, write it down or put it in your phone or whatever, and say, I see you, I hear you, I feel you. I will come back and we will talk further about this. And that is giving it that space to be honored. And you'll probably find your heart, your emotions will just go, and then you'll be able to be more present with the present moment. So that would be what this card is talking about. And this flows on really beautifully to the next card, which is compassion. So soften your heart with respect to the situation and all the people involved, including yourself. So I'm getting that there's possibly going to be some spikes in emotional stuff this week. Inner child work, there's going to be some spikes in your emotional spaces. So yes, you're going to have to dig deep on that compassion side of you again, into that feminine compassion side, bring it up and let it shine really super brightly, just like the angel here is doing. Okay, so, oh, yes, I know. We have to be the bigger people, right? And sometimes it can be incredibly frustrating. But if you allow yourself to feel that compassion towards you, if you're getting angry and frustrated with someone else, you can then go, well, hang on a minute. What if I was in their shoes? How would it feel if they were receiving this reaction? How would I feel if I was receiving this reaction? And that should help to just tweak what's happening and shift you back into that space of compassion, right? I give you the example of my client, my homeowner that I was working with this week. And there was a lot of people who in his community, the next door neighbors and things like that, that all they could see of the things that were outside, that they were junk, they were rubbish, they were an eyesore, they were, but they never really looked at it from the compassionate side. All they could see was that it was potentially creating a space for rodents and rubbish floating around and all that sort of stuff. At the end of the day, and this is true for many situations like that, where somebody is suffering from hoarding disorder, it's a mental and emotional condition. And when you start looking at things from a mental and emotional condition side of things, rather than the outcomes of what you can see, when you start seeing it from the other side and you come from that compassionate side, you can then connect with that person in a really beautiful way that allows for progress in a much speedier fashion. So keep bringing up your compassionate side, especially with yourself. If you're noticing that procrastination, okay, that was the word that just popped into my head. If you feel like you're procrastinating and you're not getting to where you want to be as fast as you want to be there, pause and ask yourself, truth, who does this belong to? Because you might find that that point of view of I'm not there fast enough is not actually yours. And it's often judgment. Because as my team said to me this morning, sit down, hurry up and wait. Patience is not always easy for us. But sometimes sit down, hurry up and wait is actually the perfect speed that you have to be going at. Isn't that funny? The next card that we have for our weekly reading is Angel Therapy. So would give us your cares and worries and allow us to take your burdens, right? So as we are moving through and we're doing that inner child work this week and we're coming from that space of compassion, your team is now saying, please call on us to assist. We are here for you. We are ready to contribute in any way that you feel is of your highest and best. And we will be there for you in an instant because we always are. All you have to do is ask. All right, so keep tapping in with your team. The next card that we've got is Leadership. So leadership, I think, came out last week as well. So this is about making sure that you're being the leader in your life and you're not being at the effect of everybody else's thoughts, feelings, and emotions. So you have to be the dominant entity of your life. And this is why when we do our meditation at the end of the night, our guided meditation, why we take ourselves from being that small, teeny, tiny little pebble being swished around in the raging river of everybody else's thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and expanding out to be like the big fluffy cloud, observing things for what they are. Because in doing that, you're being the leader. You're being the dominant entity of your life. And so that's why we do that every single week, even if it's just the expanding out process. And that's all we do because I'm tired or something like that. It's a reminder to you to keep doing that throughout the week because you do deserve to be the leaders of your life in whatever shape and form that comes in, you know. So please continue to be the leader of your life. This reading is so funny today because the last one that we got is divine order. So remember, sit down, hurry up and wait. So everything is how it needs to be right now. Look past the illusion and see the underlying order. So everything is happening in divine timing. Allow it to be as it is and trust. I think if I was to have another card here, it would say trust. Trust in the process. Keep putting those requests out there. Be clear and concise in your goals, your targets for the next, till the end of the year or to the next 12 months or whatever target you have. Be clear and concise in your requests and then let it go. Trust the universe, be pragmatic, keep working towards things, and, you know, have your body ready to receive. Okay, so divine timing or divine order. And the card that has come out from the yummy cards is generosity. So what comes to me when I see this generosity card is that there's a huge generosity of spirit that is available to every single one of us. The choice is yours as to whether you be that. And there's a space of, there's a many, sorry, my mind's going to 4 different directions right now. So there are people out there in this beautiful energetic world and spiritual healing world and modalities and all of the metaphysical stuff, and even GPs and all, like, there's just loads of people out there who you get a wide spectrum of people. You get the ones that will do everything for free because they're just like, it doesn't matter to me. Money has no consequence. They've got stuff set up so that they don't need to charge for their services. Then you've got the other end of the spectrum where they charge thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for their classes and their sessions and all of that. And they attract a different kind of client to these ones. Then you've got the people who come in from both ends of that, and they sit at different ends of that spectrum, right? Where you'll get people who will charge a good chunk of money, but then they might do some charity or freebies from time to time. You'll get other people who will do crazy things like podcasts, and you might receive free stuff, free readings or whatever. Now, that generosity of spirit also comes through in other ways. Like when I was with my friend today, and I got to spend some time down at the beach with them. But there was a moment when I just arrived and they were saying how they were still suffering a bit from a headache and all sorts of things. I was just like, my hands started getting really hot while I was sitting in my lap. And I was like, oh, can I show you something? I knew what I was doing. And she's like, yeah, because she does like energy healing too. I placed my hands on her knees because I got the sense that her knees required some Reiki too. And she's like, oh, that's so hot. And I'm like, I know, isn't it cool? And I could sense that the energy was moving through her body. And she said, oh my God, my headache's gone. And I'm like, awesome. So I just stayed there for a while. Now, if she was to have gone off to do a session, that may have cost her $160, $500, $600. She told me today about somebody who was charging $600 for a group sound healing session. And she doesn't charge nearly that much for a sound healing session, even for a group one. And that's what I mean. There's a real spectrum. You can be generous in spirit and just smiling with your time, with your compassion, with your sparkles, with your energy. You know, when you sign off an email, do you sign it off, you know, just your name? Do you sign it off with like a little regards, or do you sign it off with, like, I quite often sign mine off saying happy days with a Z, just because it helps to just bring that sense of lightness through in those sort of business type interactions. You know, whenever I send in my daily timesheets and my weekly one, there's always a little blurb for the accounts lady. She loves it. She absolutely loves it. And she often tells me, thank you for being the bright sparkle in my day. Sure, there's some payback for me because it means she's going to possibly take a little bit more note with my pay slip or my pay, make sure she's charging it through correctly so that I get paid correctly. Sure, it's always good to keep the accounts lady on side, right? But beyond that, she's one of the people I have the most consistent contact with within the business, that besides my manager. And I like being able to have that influence of generosity of spirit, of that sparkle going in through the business in whatever way it can get there. Whether it be how I interact with my business, with my manager, or whether it be with her or whoever. We can change the energy of many things if we're just willing to be us and letting our voice and our sparkle and our magic be seen. No longer time for hiding, my friends. Hey-ho, so that's the reading for this week. We're going to have some inner child work coming up. We're going to have to be nurturing that. We're going to have to be very compassionate, especially towards ourselves as well as people around us. Be the leader. Keep expanding out. And also call in on your team. Okay? Hi, Tony. Hi. And Karen, hi, lovely. And hi, Lisa. Hi. I love it, Tony, that you signed it off with a smiley face. Mine often has Lorene, and then I put a butterfly at the end of my name too, which is always just like... So Melinda said, it's amazing when you feel the energy move like that. I love the tingling sensations and how it makes me feel, and when I can gift it to someone else. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as you know, I've been an energy worker for many years now. So the Reiki side of things is just amplified the things that I have already known. Yes, it's a completely different modality, but as the lovely Reiki teacher said, it plays really well with other modalities, and I saw that in action today, which was just amazing. Because I got to play with a bit of energetic facelift while with her dog, who suffers from pancreatitis, and he was just loving it, absolutely loving it. So there was, a good chunk of energetic facelift running through there, but also a little bit of Reiki. And so, yeah, they were just playing in and around each other really, really well. And like, even because I've done energetic facelift and worked with those energies so much, it's running with me all the time. And I can focus a little bit more on it, and it sort of amplifies it, but basically at a low level, it's always running in me. And so to now have Reiki to add with that is just like, it's just so freaking beautiful. And obviously it doesn't change the fact that I also have those other tools in my toolbox, like the verbal processing tools and facilitation tools. And all of that is all valuable too, because not everybody requires that sort of energetic body work. Some people do require the energetic processing of the mind as well. So that's where the theta healing tools come in too. They're really useful. And a lot of the other holistic counseling tools are very useful too, like your dream interpretation. That's something that I did, the Gestalt dream interpretation. I absolutely love that tool. And, your color theory, and there's just so many things, like your regression stuff. Well, that's not Reiki, that's regression, past life regression work. And that's something I also do. And it's just, there's a lot of things that have all kind of flowed in and around and through my toolbox of energy healing tools. And this is just another one. And it's so beautiful, and it's gentle, and it's kind, and it's just lovely, and no less potent, but it's just a little bit less sledgehammerish, and some of the other tools and modalities I play with are like a bloody jackhammer. They smash stuff through and out really quickly, which is why I like them. It suits my Aryan nature quite nicely, thank you. But for some, it's too harsh. It's too rough. It's too abrupt a change, and they require a slightly different method. So yeah, I'm glad that I'm now learning this new space, and I'm looking forward to, now that I've done first half of level 1, I'm looking forward to my level 2s and working on through to becoming a Reiki master next year. So it's like, yay. So that's going to be my journey for the next little while as far as higher learning goes, and we never stop learning. I loved learning this so far, and with my attunements, my beautiful partner was given the opportunity to do those. So we both approached the class from a very open point of view, and I had no projections or expectations of who was going to be doing my attunements. There was Leanne and Alex were doing them, because Alex is actually a Reiki master as well. And so I was very fortunate that when I walked out into the other room to have my attunements done, Leanne said to Alex, I thought you might like to do your beloved's attunements. And I was just like, oh. And which was brilliant, because I was able to ask Alex so many more questions about what he perceived beforehand, what happened afterwards, like where are the energy levels at before and after. And yeah, so it's so amazing. And even now, as I'm thinking about it, somebody out there needs some Reiki, so enjoy. I'm not at that stage yet where I'm meant to be doing distance Reiki, so once I get there, I'll do that for you guys. But just know I can feel you. All right. So my beautiful, lovely, consistent, incredible contributor to Find You Fridays, Melinda, your reading is up first. So you have contributed a donation, and I am incredibly grateful to you for that. So then, Tony, have you done your Reiki? Have you done the classes and stuff? Because if you require Reiki all the time, then go attend a class. Go do your level 1s. Because once that wedge is in the top of your head, you'll get the Reiki all the time, and you can run it on yourself. Even now, I can run Reiki on me. In fact, I'm running Reiki on me right now, right? It's hot in my hands, and I'm running it on myself right now as I'm talking to you. So I highly recommend, if you feel like you require Reiki all the time, go do your level 1s. Find a facilitator that is able to and work, feels good for you, and go attend the class. It's incredible. Very easy to do your level 1s. This is the brilliance of it, right? Now, obviously, if somebody else is running Reiki on you, it hits in a slightly different way, but it doesn't matter. I can still like the other day, I was just standing in the kitchen. I had my pajamas on, and I put my hands on sort of my lower back. And all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, and I said to Alex, oh my God, feel this. And I lifted up his t-shirt, and I put my hands on his belly, and he goes, you got the hot Reiki hands. And I'm like, yeah, isn't it awesome? And so I went back to putting them back on my lower back, and it was just so delicious, like hotter than a wheat bag. And I was like, ooh-wee. Like, yeah, so amazing. So amazing. So Melinda's team, hello, hello, hello. Ooh. I like it. You're getting more specific. So with the honouring of Find You Fridays, there is a space that I would like to, just in the purpose of having total clarity with you all, the donations that are coming through and have been since the last, I think I last donated to an organisation back in June. Basically, from then onwards, what has been happening is I've been placing the profits of your donations into a kitty. Now, that kitty is sitting there and it is waiting for a something to come forward. What that is going to be, I'm not sure yet. My business and my team have told me it's really important that I honor this platform, and that I honor this platform by actually having it paying for itself, like the running costs of that. It's really important to do that. So that's why it's the profits of this show is now over in that kitty and it's waiting. Not sure what it's going to be. It will be something a little bit more special and targeted, I think, rather than a broad spectrum. But please know that it is very I am grateful to each and every single one of you for your donations for Find You Fridays. That you see the value in what I do and what I give to you, and that the entity of Find You Fridays gets really so excited every time we hear the little diddle of a donation that's come through. It's like I can literally feel the business going, yay, somebody's loving us. And that energy there is something that is going to go towards something that is really special for someone or some people, specific people. So just to let you know why you haven't seen any posts about where I've donated money to and things like that. So yeah. Just in the space of total clarity with where we're at with things. Okay. Why, thank you, Tony. Yeah, there's something pretty special coming up. So we shall see. Okay, cool. Okay, Melinda. Thank you, Julie. Yeah. All right. So apparently your team is going to give me 2 separate messages for you. So the first one is like a general for this week, and the second one is more so about your interview. Okay. So first of all, we got release, which is about working with Archangel Michael to let go of what no longer serves you or your purpose. So again, we're doing a bit of that sort of self-reflection and honest brutally honest with yourself as to, why am I holding on to this? What is it about this that is got a hold on me that I can't let it go? And really start looking at that. Where are you? And it's interesting that I've been on a big hoard job this week. So what energies are you hoarding that if you let it go, if you released that, would free you up to be able to receive so much greater on so many other levels than you have before? Okay. So releasing, a bit of release work. All right, we got the next one, which is your general for this week, is around the base chakra. And choose only positive thoughts to describe your home, career, and finances, as your words determine your outcome. So with this one, they're telling me, yes, you're doing a lot, and please keep going. The work is not done yet. And to just keep being mindful of your words, and to, what specifically, please? Oh, family. Okay. So you have to be more focused on your desired outcome for family interactions. Okay. Thank you. So they're reminding me of a conversation I had with a really dear friend of mine. And she was saying how she just loves it when I tell her, how wonderful and sparkly and bright and loving and fun and enjoyable my relationship is with Alex. And she just really wishes to be with somebody who she can go out with and have fun with and have great sex with and travel with and eat good food with and just have a fabulous time. And I said, in my head, the thing that came off first of all was, well, that just sounds like just a really good friend who is a bit of a fuck buddy. That's cool. You can have that if you wish. But the part that made me sort of go, is, and this is something we don't often think about when it comes to relationship, is we have all these things on our list of our ideal person, of all these positive attributes. We want them to, we wish them to be fun and joyful and, along the same lines, and maybe spiritually aware and, shifting and changing and growing and blah, 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 blah. But how often do you actually think about how would you like conflict to be approached? How would you like to see conflict and a difference of opinions approached from a perspective of your way of going to that and their way? Start having a look at that too. Because if you can, instead of being resistance and reaction to not even the conflict coming up yet, and you're thinking, oh God, I've got to go see blah, 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 and they're just going to be such a freaking nightmare to deal with today. And this happens not only for family, but for when you're dealing with management or, other staff members that you might be, clash with a little bit. before you've even stepped through the door, and you're already putting out that vibe with your words, even in your thoughts of going, oh my God, I'm going to have such a terrible time with them today. I wonder what the fuck they're going to have a go at me about today. And, you know, all that sort of thing. You're setting up the parameters for that already happening. If you can think it, it's already there, right? Change that. How would you ideally like to see those interactions play out? Find the positive, the more positive ways of interaction with that. And be in that space. Even if before you approach that person, you go, ideally, what would be my ideal outcome here? How would I like to see this interaction play out? For me, I never really thought about this when I was in my previous most longer term relationship. And it was not healthy. Sure, I had somebody who I had fabulous bedtime romps with and who was fun, and we went traveling and camping, and they loved food, and they loved, you know, hanging out with friends and all of that sort of stuff. They were passionate about their interests, which was really important to me. But when it came to differences of opinion or conflict, nope, they acted like a child. They threw tantrums, they got drunk, they got passed out drunk in avoidance of, you know, actually sitting down having adult conversations. Made me feel like I couldn't bring up anything because I hadn't put that into the mix. I hadn't added that little ingredient of conscious conversation into the mix. I now have that because I've thought about it. But that was via the experience of not having that many times over. But that last most longest relationship was a big one. Right, so your general reading also for this week, Archangel Michael has popped up again. So you're obviously going to be working with Archangel Michael quite a lot this week. Be aware of that, Melinda. You're working very closely with this powerful Archangel who is protecting and guiding you through the situation. Okay, so before you have any of those interactions with people who are needing to have those interactions, you have to have interactions with them. Please ask for Archangel Michael to help you along with that. Okay. Now, the rest of your reading. Right. First of all, there's a reminder that you are a powerful light worker, and it is safe for you to be powerful. So your spiritual power brings you great blessings and loving service to the divine. So if this job is not going to be honoring of that, it's a no. If this job is, you get the sense that, yeah, I'm able to be me, and because the third card in this particular reading, this part of the reading will answer more around this. If I can be sparkly me, and I feel like I'm going to be heard, and my awareness says yes, this is going to be a good one for you. Okay. The next card that we got is to shield yourself. And while it says about shielding yourself from harsh or fear-based energies by envisioning a cocoon of healing white light around you, what was popping out for me around this is other people's opinions. So if you feel in your heart, if your awareness is, yes, I can be my powerful, beautiful, sparkly, delicious, incredible self, funny, light self, if it feels light for you to be there and to be a part of this, shield yourself from the people whose opinions are differing to that. Okay? And trust you. That's the big words that are coming through at the moment, is trust your awareness. Okay? Because the third card that we've got for you is integrity. So align your actions so that they match your values and inner knowingness of what is right for you. This card here is very much tied in with this first one. So Melinda, for this job, if you get the sense, and you can ask yourself some awareness questions, do your pendulum work, do whatever it is for of how you tap into your awareness, whether you do finger muscle testing, whether you do the up and down one, whether you do the sway technique, pendulum work, energetically in tune work, internal awareness work, light and heavy tools, whatever it is, however it is that you tune in, ask yourself, truth, can I be my most authentic self in this role? Truth, will this business be honoring? Truth, will I be able to retain my integrity while working here? The other question you can ask, which is a little bit more broad, is truth, what will it create if in 100 years, if I work for this company? Truth, what will it create in 100 years if I do not? And one of those will be lighter than the other. One of them may be incredibly heavy and the other one will be light. But when you get two light questions, like two yeses, look for the stronger of those two yeses. Okay, so it might be, say that last question of what will it create if I go and work for this company, and you get a yes. And then you ask truth, what will it create if I do not work for the company? And it is also a yes. Look for the one that is the larger of those reactions, like those responses. And that's why sometimes when there are two yeses, I'll go and push the timeline out, so into something I can't cognitize. So I might go, truth, what will it create in 1,000 years if I go and work for this company? Or if I go and do XYZ event or whatever, right? So yeah. Oh, that's moving some energy for you. Lovely. All right. Please ask your awareness. Trust yourself. You know what to do. And you can ask those questions of any place. So I think your team is really asking you to, regardless of whether you get this particular job or not, this is the parameters that they're asking you to look at whenever you're looking at a job. Okay, and it's kind of like an energetic checklist of what you are required to look out for, so that you can be the most genuine you can be. And so then you are the greatest contribution to the collective, because you're not being contracted. You're not feeling like you have to contract to fit in. A lot of rules we had to say we would abide by. Ooh, interesting. The card that came out, the yummy card, is frequency. So I would be asking some questions. And your team is saying, check the frequency that they are, that this company is being, and watch out for the smoke and mirrors. Okay. So interestingly, before I went to work for the company that I work for now, there was a couple of people in my world who were like, had past clashes with people who are linked to that company. But every time I checked in with my awareness around working for that company, and I did those questions that I just said to you, truth, what will it create in 100 years if I go and work for this company? Truth, what will it create if I don't? And it was light, so light every time. It was light before I went into the interview. It was light throughout the interview. It was light before they offered me the job. And so far, and I'm coming up to my 1-year anniversary at the end of the month, my awareness has been spot on. Yes, there's been moments where it's been like, rrr. But overall, I've felt honored. I felt nurtured and nourished. Even just today, the manager was telling me that they have within the company the policy of, because we do deal with sometimes some very emotionally triggering type situations, trauma jobs especially, but sometimes horde jobs can be quite emotionally triggering for some people. We have a policy where, we can get something like 6 or 7 counseling sessions for free. And that is open to me, whether it is directly related to a job I've been on or just personal stuff for me. Beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate knowing that. There is, in other companies that I've worked for, that's never been a thing. And, in the disability company that I worked for, they never, ever supported my emotional well-being as well as this company does. And yeah, does it feel light or heavy? Exactly, Julie. So ask the questions, gain your awareness. Your team has certainly given you some pretty clear signs of trusting who you be. And if they are not going to allow you to be that in your uniqueness, and you've got the awareness of that, it's pretty freaking clear. Alrighty. So, oh no. 1, 2, 3. Oh dear. I think half the cards went one way and half the cards went the other way. Cool. And of course, we don't like being all mixed up frontwards and backwards. Oh dear. So thank you, Melinda. Thank you for that beautiful donation. I'm so grateful for you. Tony. Lovely. Let me just catch up with the chat, because I've been a little bit focused with Melinda's beautiful tea. So hi, Lynn. Thank you. Thank you for coming in. I'm grateful for you being here with us today. Of course, as a newbie, you wouldn't know, but the people who do donate a little from, doing the PayPal thingy, which is running across the bottom of the screen, they always take preference over any free readings. And my readings, generally, the freebie ones come through with a poem from my poetry book. So it's a bit of a different way of doing a freebie. So if you just hang around a little bit longer, I'm sure we'll get to some of those a little bit later on. Hi, Anna. How are you today? So Anna, Lynn, same message. Just keep hanging in there. And yeah, I do give preference to the people who have paid, because it's just so lovely. And I like to honor them first. So Tony, please, can you pop your question in the chat so I can then run some cards for that one. So yeah, for you beautiful, lovely newbies, the poetry book that I have, I can pop this, I can talk about this now. So this is my poetry book. It's called Gratitude, The Space Between Seconds. You can purchase it through Amazon. It's like the links are there on my website as well, because sometimes even on Amazon, trying to find it with my name of Lorene Hughes, it can be sometimes a little bit tricky to get to. In fact, I might actually just find it for you now. So you know what? I might actually just direct you towards my page. That will make it super duper easy. Boop, boop. And then you can, while you're over there, you can check out my blog and all that sort of jazz while you're there. There we go. So you can check that out. So yeah, my poetry book, it's an intuitive poetry book. I didn't intend for it to be that way. In fact, I was incredibly resistant to writing it in the first place. But I'll read to you the back of it, and it says, a journey from total numbness to consciousness, one woman's discovery of the whispers of awareness that have been locked into the once closely held secret pages of a poetry book. An emotional and energetic uncovering of greatly guarded and locked away chapters in a story that spans over 25 years. So this one is something that is very near and dear to my heart. I have a very deep connection with every single one of these poems. At the bottom of each poem, there's a little blurb about, what was going on for me at the time when I wrote it, because as I was rewriting it into this format, I was instantly transported to the moment when I actually wrote it and ended up going through some very deep processing. And it was an incredibly cathartic process for me to rewrite them, because I had handwritten them into my poetry book that nobody was allowed to read. It was a big fat no-no. But my team had a very different plan, and I eventually succumbed to their requests and produced this book, and including all the cover, the front cover, which you can sort of see. It just sort of looks like a bit blobby, but what it is there's actually a beautiful entity here, and she's wearing a big poofy dress, a skirt dress. So you can see her big bonnet is up here, her big hat, and then there's her bodice, comes down like this. She's got a very slim waist, and her big puffy sleeves come out that way and out this way. And then over here, we have her big, huge, flowy skirts. And this background image I created at my kitchen bench using watercolor paper and food dye, I think it was. And I just moved the colors around, and it wasn't till I was tweaking it and to bring in more of the apricot colors that all of a sudden she popped out, and I saw her and I was like, oh, wow. And it was a no-brainer. She had to be the background image for this book. So I'll go into more deeply late in a little bit of how it works. And I find it really fascinating because I do use it in an intuitive way. And much like I use oracle cards and the tarot and things like that, there's things that pop out when I read a poem that you guys have chosen. And it's just so beautiful. And even the poem itself is quite often spot on for stuff that you may or may not wish to be seen and heard. I gave a copy to my cousin, my Irish cousin, when she came over to visit, and she was just she was using it how I'd said for her to use it. And she sends me this message because she was on the bus from Adelaide to Melbourne. And she said to me, "Oh my God, I had to stop reading your book." And I was like, "Why?" And she goes, "Because it's too bloody eerily spot on and I don't like it." You're freaking me out with your intuitive awareness. And I'm like, "Congratulations, well done." You're welcome. Righty-ho. So, back to Tony. Okay. There was another story of I was doing a free event for women, and it was it just had a lot of very different businesses all come together. And one of the businesses that was there was an accounting firm, and I was doing readings and stuff, and it was just a quiet moment while there was some presenters doing a bit of a workshop thing. So I wandered over to the ladies who were doing the accountancy booth, and I just said to one of the ladies, and I asked her, would she like to pick a number? And so she did. I read out the poem for her, and she just started cracking up laughing. And I'm like, and then we're like, shh, quiet, And she's like, "Oh my gosh, you're just so spot on. That is exactly what's happening with me in my relationship right now." And I'm like, "Oh, that's exciting," because it was quite a good poem. And I've had that reaction that, wow, that's spot on, I would say 99% of the time. As long as people are choosing the first number that pops into their head, not necessarily their favorite number. Okay, Tony, so as I am tuning in with you and your team, what I'm perceiving is there's a tightness up through your neck. It's almost like you've got muscle, too much tension through your shoulder and muscle and into your neck. And it's causing like that kind of twitchy irritation, tension that's going through. Right side. So that's your masculine. You're in battle between your masculine and feminine at the moment. It's time to release some of the responsibility on your masculine energies. Let them soften, let them go, let them release. Because it's like you're out of balance, and it's creating a tension which is pulling up, and it's not in a great way. So it's like it's pulling up, it's pulling the ribs, it's pulling your hips. It's like everything is just kind of like really tight. Let's go get a massage. But if you can, get a massage from someone who knows Reiki. Okay? Because the massage from a person who knows and uses Reiki will feel and hit differently to somebody who doesn't. Okay? So ask that question, or have a look on their list of offerings, the energies perhaps that they work with. That will really help. help you move some of that stuff through. Oh, digestion stuff too, huh? That's fun. Okay. All right. So with the season that we're in at the moment, I think it's Scorpio season, if I remember rightly. Actually, I can just double check that. My beautiful soul sister, she puts up a lot of stuff. Oh, geez Louise. Yeah, it is Scorpio season. So this season, there's a lot of stuff around Dark Night of the Soul, a lot of deep. You're welcome. So I'm getting what I'm seeing from the cards that are in front of me right now, and I'll go into it in more depth in a moment. This is either you're already in this or it's coming. Okay. And if you're already in it, that's okay. This is just sort of like confirmation of what you're going through. So Scorpio season has a lot of these, if you wish to call them, like the darker parts of ourselves being seen, heard, and released and acknowledged and released. And this is a time where we start potentially feeling a lot more grief, where we feel those moments of anger coming up, where we get a lot of tension and tears, and there's a lot of heartfelt stuff that is coming through right now. Yeah, there's more. Okay. Because what you've been through already was the precursor to what you're going to be going through next. Okay, it's kind of like the warming up process. Yeah, I know, right? At least they're giving you a warning this time. So it's almost like you've had a little bit of a breather. You're like, oh, thank God for that. Okay, it's done. Yeah, no, we're getting ready for another round. So they've given me here some stuff around the best way to move through this with a lot more ease. Okay. So the first one we've got is gray, which is to scan your body. So if you don't know how to do this yet, the time is now. The time is now to learn how to do this and to listen to your intuition, diary note it, write it down, start working with this information that your body is giving you so clearly. This information around this, the right side of your body, the information that you're getting from your digestion stuff, like get your Ina Segal book out or your Louise Hay book out, work with it. Listen to the messages your body is giving you in such a big, beautiful way. My throat is now going croaky. Where are you not speaking? Where are you not allowing your voice to be heard? Okay, so to scan your body, all you have to do is, like, when you just sort of like have a little bit of a meditation moment, like you can even do it after we do our meditation tonight, or you can grab any of the meditations and that we do on a Friday and just listen to that bit whether you're doing the expanding out. Okay, and observe your body, go from the top of your head all the way down through your shoulders, your arms, and what you're looking out for is spaces and places where your energy is feeling tight, blocked, cranked, crunchy. It depends on how you perceive energy. So sometimes you might see it as darkness. If you see things from a light perspective, if you feel things like some people are more of they're more tactile, right? So they might perceive that there's a tension in the head, or they might perceive that they have that in the neck, or whatever it is. Okay. So then when you scan your body, then you can start asking your body, okay, what is it that you're trying to tell me right now? Allow your hand to do intuitive writing, and you'll be able to get more awareness around what that is for you. You can also, if you're not into intuitive writing, you can then go, okay, so if we then refer back to our weekly reading, you can go, okay, so truth, when did I first feel this way? When did I first feel that my throat was all croaky and tight and like I couldn't speak up? When did I first feel that? And then you can imagine, like, if you get the sense of, like, I'm hearing the word 4. So, okay, so when you were 4 years old, what happened when you were 4? Right? So when you're looking at that and you're going, okay, and you can have a conversation. Imagine your 4-year-old self there in front of you. And imagine having that conversation with them and coming from the conscious adult space that you are now. What would you say to that 4-year-old who was feeling like they weren't being heard? How would you comfort and nurture them? Have that conversation. That's how we do inner child work. Okay, so for example, last year, the house that I was living in had gone up for sale, and I was having to keep the property in not only a clean and tidy state, which wasn't too bad, but at the same time, we live in our homes. We don't necessarily mop and vacuum every single day and things like that. But also I was having to be aware of putting away all of my valuable things every time the real estate agent wished to do a show through. I wasn't allowed to be in the home when they did the showing. And so there was a place there of feeling really angry about this whole process. And this one particular time I got incredibly furious about having to clean up my house to a standard that I'm happy with as well, and not actually being able to really enjoy it as such, but I am, but I'm not, but also that I'm having to pack all of the things away that are important to me just in case some random stranger decides that they want it more than it's in my home. And I found myself getting really, really furiously angry about it. And I was like, okay, let's just pause here, because I was starting to take it out on the other person that was in the house with me. And I had a breath and I said, okay, truth, when was the first time I ever felt like this? And I went back to when I was a child and my parents were splitting up. And suddenly we were moving house and I was moving school, and I had no say in any of that. I had no say as to where I wanted to live or how I wanted to be with. I was moving from the big city to a small country town, and there was no discussion about that process. And I was angry. So as the conscious adult that I am now, I was like, okay, I hear you. I feel your anger, and I feel how upset and frustrated and confused you were at that time of suddenly your whole life got tipped upside down and you had no way of controlling any of it. I totally see you, I feel you. And I know that the space that we're in now with all these show throughs is feeling very similar. But let's look at this logically. So what here really truly is of value to anybody else coming through? You have a lot of secondhand stuff. What are they going to want? Your non-smart TV? Or your table, which is a ton, which weighs a ton? No. You've packed away your valuables, so your jewelry and things like that, so they can't be taken. You don't keep any money at home, so that's fine. What are they going to take? Really, at the end of the day. And as soon as I sort of broke it down for them, for my inner child, they saw the silliness of it. And suddenly it was all okay again. But the information is that I was feeling unsafe. I was confused. I didn't know where I was going to be living, which is where the same threads were coming through. Because, of course, once the house was sold, I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know where I was going to live. I didn't know what was going to, how that was going to affect my life. And I also didn't know how much longer I was going to have to keep doing these show throughs for, which was also frustrating because we were coming into Christmas and then the new year. And then, it was a very intense time. And I was just starting a new job and I was really tired and all these things were going on all at the same time. And there was also the awareness that the relationship that I was in was maybe not quite as nice and light and what I thought it was going to be. So a lot of the same threads many years later, many years apart, right? Cool. To have a look where that sits with your throat. The next card that we've got is black, which is find the richness from the dark night. So hence the reason why I'm going. You think you've done with your dark night of the soul, that internal process? No, we got more to come. Sorry, not sorry. Because there is always gifts in there. And I'm hearing that you are going to be required to work with Hecate. Okay, the beautiful goddess Hecate. She's so potent and she's an incredible gift through this process, this particular part of progression, of expansion of your spiritual journey. So please look up Hecate if you haven't worked with her already. Continue to look into her, find out more, connect with her as part of your spirit team, allow her to help you guide you through this next one. You'll get to work with a pretty potent goddess. She's she has a lot of information and a lot of compassion, actually, in a different way. She's still very forthright and very straight down the line, but at the same time you'll feel her support and she'll be right there with you. Her numerology number, that if you have been seeing a lot of 3s lately, that's to do with Hecate. And so she's showing you she's in your world and she's there to support and nourish and nurture you through this process. The next card that we've got for you is brown, which is establishing boundaries. So as we go through these deeper moments, you'll find that things will irritate you a lot more. And where those things are irritating you, it's more than likely spaces where your boundaries are being manipulated a little bit. Maybe somebody's encroaching on your boundaries somewhat. But this is coming back to your throat area once again. And I'm actually getting the sense of a noose. Okay, so you have not actually established those boundaries clearly enough around what is appropriate for you and what is not appropriate, what is going to create more and what is not. And so I'm hearing it's like you're thinking that the noose, the hanging of the noose is coming from outside of you, but it's not, it's within you. And so you have to undo that yourself. Don't place the blame on other people. This is something you have to do for you. You have to be firm in your boundaries. So, for example, today, I can give you an example of this, what happened to me today. I normally would, if I've got plans with other people, and the friend I caught up with today, we haven't been able to catch up for more than 6 months, and it was really important that I saw her today. And so I'd put it in my calendar, but it was not the calendar that's linked up to my Calendarly. So my Calendarly hadn't clicked that I wasn't available today, and I hadn't manually turned that day off, and which is on me. But somebody booked in a session, an online session, and I was just like, well, shit, I'm going to be leaving the house in 30 minutes, and I certainly am not pulling out of this this friendship catch up. It's too important to me. So I said to the client, look, I'm really sorry. I'm about to leave the house. I've got an appointment to go to that, like, it's taken 6 months for me to arrange. So can we rebook for next week? Yeah, sure, no problem. I established a boundary. Could I and would I in the old days have gone, oh my God, somebody's booked in a session. Oh shit, I've got to call my friend and say, look, I'm really sorry, I can't come. Yes, I would have done that because I was still in my people pleaser space with very low boundaries until somebody really stomped all over them. And then my boundaries came up like barriers. And then it was like, get the fuck away from me. All right. You create boundaries. You don't need to be rough with them. You have more confidence. Okay. And you find the different ways to express yourself so that the other people don't feel like there's a gentleness and a softness and a way of communicating with other people that is more harmonious. That's the word that I'm trying to find. Throughout this next part of your process, you're going to need to ground yourself on a daily basis, every single day, even if it's just for a few minutes, maybe first thing in the morning, being able to go outside in your yard, whether it be the front or the backyard or somewhere. Please ground yourself in nature. I'm getting this for how many weeks? I'm being told a few weeks. This is going to be really vitally important for you to take that time. You can't go outside. Okay, I'm hearing with a plant. Have you got a plant that is alive and not fake? There's nature. You're requiring some live plant time. But of course, you can also ground yourself with energetically going down, straight down. We do that every time we do we go down into Mother Earth and come up again in our end of the night reading, meditation. That's also grounding you. Okay, so please, every single day, at least once a day, ground yourself, please. The next one that we've got here is coral, which is allow flow and synchronicity into your life. To be honest, I think this is probably the hardest one for people who have been indoctrinated into the point of view and the belief system of it's better to give than receive. It's a tough one, because with that particular belief system comes a lot of guilt around receiving anything from anyone. We always feel like there's we always feel like there has to be more given than received, and when we do receive, we feel guilty for receiving because it's like we haven't given enough yet. But the problem with that is that the more we give and receive less, our cup gets emptier and emptier and emptier. And as the cup gets more and more empty, and the more we give, there's a huge lack sitting within our body, an energy of lack. And because we're then functioning from the energy of lack, we are always feeling depleted. And then our body responds to that with tension, with dis-ease, with anxiousness and anxiety and depression, because all of those energies are from a space of lack. And then, of course, as we're feeling more of those, in comes the judgment, in comes the just all of that stuff, which is heavy, 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 heavy stuff. So as you start moving through this process, see if you can bring in this beautiful coral color to remind you to allow yourself to go with the flow, to receive more so that you can give more, so that you can be more functional. Hence the reason why I've been doing a lot more me time stuff, connecting with my friends, going to women's only events, going to sound baths, doing all these different things, learning Reiki even, so that I can fill up my cup, so I can be even more amazing for those around me and for the work and the things that are coming up next year for me in my business. Right now, we're doing a lot of this and a little bit of this, but a lot of this. Because you guys require me to be bright and sparkly. And if I'm down here, I'm not bright and sparkly for you guys. Okay? And thank you, Tony. So let's have a look at your yummy card. That's awesome. Been drawing, painting, beautiful. I'm looking forward to getting into my crafting stuff some more. That's a part of how I fill up my cup too. Yeah, I love being creative. Super fun. It's like over in the Find You Fridays community, I got creative last week, and I did pull out that meditation and I put it as a separate offering. I got creative digitally for a change. This card does not surprise me at all. Your yummy card says healing. So you're healing through this next period of time. You are still going to be doing a lot of deep, deep healing on some of these old pathways. And this is what a big part of this next part of your journey is, okay? So wherever you've got those pains, wherever you've got the stuff with your body, like we've got to go back to the grey, right? The scan your body. If you haven't got Ina Segal's book, please get it. She has a lot of beautiful processes in there that can help you with the things that you notice that are a bit funky with your body. And you'll start to, even if you don't necessarily understand or understand what is going on, just do the processes. When I first got introduced to Ina Segal, I had picked up her book from, I was actually at a Law of Attraction meeting, and they had a big range of books, and it was at that stage I was in the first couple of tests, and it was suspected precancerous cells in my cervix. And I was like, this is not something that has gone wonky with my body. This is energetic. Like, I knew that there was something that was, it wasn't something that could be solved with surgery or pills or anything like that. I knew inside my gut that it was something I could fix for myself. I just knew. Oh, here we go. So this book, The Secret Language of Your Body. This is what it looks like at the moment. This is the most recent version of it. Okay. So get that book. I did that process, and I had no idea about energetic healing at that stage. None at all. I didn't even click about the fact I had awareness of spirits and entities. I had, not that she really goes into that, but I had no freaking clue about my abilities with healing. None at all. I was such a newbie. I didn't even have, I don't think I even had a single pack of cards at this stage. I may have had one, but I don't think so. And I just knew that there was something in that was going to help me, because it was the only book that looked like it was in color. Because I was asking the question, do one of these books have something to do with vaginas in it? And it did. So I did the process every morning and every night for 1 month, every morning and every night. And then I went back to the doctor, the doctor and the nurse, and I got another smear done, and it came back completely clear. This is after having 2 that were wonky, 3 months apart. And the nurse rang me at work to say, hey, I know we've been through this process, and I know what you've done, and I really wish to tell you, because, normally it's no news is good news, right? She said, but I still think you should go off for the biopsy, because they'd booked me in for a biopsy. So I did. I went off for the biopsy, and the specialist gynecologist said, look, there's a tiny little spot there, but it looks like it's completely healed. We'll do a little sample of that. Came back completely clear. And I knew it would. So, in all honesty, Ina helped me open up my heart and my eyes to becoming an energetic healer. And she, in that book, helped me to start to learn. And I wasn't even doing it from a specific, conscious way. It was just, okay, this process, I don't know if it's working. I think it is. I don't know. I just gave over to it. I just let it trust. I just trusted that that's what was going to help, because I felt like it was. That stage, I didn't know what the light and heavy tool is. I had no freaking idea. I didn't know how to do pendulum work. I didn't know how to do muscle testing. I didn't know any bloody thing. But it helped. And a lot of people say that around Louise Hay as well. You sort of get a couple of different camps of people. You get the Louise Hay camps and you get the Ina Segal camps. And I've used a little bit of Louise Hay as well, but I find for me personally, Ina suits me more. I find her processes to be a little bit more in-depth that she goes into in this book. And the second edition of it goes and has expanded so many more things, and she's gone into more detail about different things, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful book. So yeah, trusting, that's a big one, especially if we've had those moments where the people out, the adults, so when we said the age 4 and your parents split up and all, and there's some trauma around that for you. There's some issues there that are asking to be seen and heard now. That's why they've come up tonight. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Tony. Thank you for coming on tonight and for your donation. I'm incredibly grateful for you, and I hope that the reading has helped. Let me just double check to see if we've had any other donations. Oh, okay, cool. Beautiful. All right, so for those of you who have stuck around, well done. We're going to do some gratitude poetry readings. So the very first number that pops into your head between 1 and 88, please pop that into the chat about now. Oh dear. I still think I require to make that a bit longer. My tea tonight, in honor of our heart-centered spaces that we are being today, is rosehip and hibiscus. I absolutely love it, and I haven't had it for a while, so yay. Beautiful, beautiful. Alrighty, Julie. I love that you're just right there, ready and waiting. 74. Okay. Why do we fall? Why do we fall for the wrong guy, wrong job, wrong food, wrong drink, wrong clothes? We are looking for love, admiration, acceptance. We fill the loneliness with distractions, people, lust, purchases, substances, when all we really desire is uncompromised love. So, Julie, my dear, how distracted are you in your life? How much are you using distraction as ways to fill up the gaps of not being brutally honest with yourself and nurturing and nourishing you instead, and therefore using those distractions and then judging yourself for using the distractions, which then makes you feel sad and angry and doubt, like go into self-doubt and deprecation and all of that sort of stuff. And then so you then repeat the same behaviors, or maybe switch them out for one of the other ones, like maybe leaning for the food, and then you feel shitty about having so much food, and then, you know, so it just starts that roller coaster once again. It's time to stop that process. It's time to be okay with not being okay. And it's time to start looking for the spaces and places where you can bring in unconditional love rather than judgment. Your body is crying for unconditional love. It is aching for it. And it feels like loneliness. It feels like emptiness. It feels like cravings. That's your body asking in any way, shape, or form that it can to connect with you on that different energetic level. There's nothing wrong with your body, my love. There's nothing wrong with how you interact with the world. There's nothing wrong with who you be. Your magic is so vital and so beautiful. And you're so fucking strong. But there's a softness in there which is not being heard. There's a gentleness in there that is asking to be seen and to be nurtured and nourished. And to do that, bringing in that unconditional love, bringing it up from Mother Earth, bringing the gratitude down from Father Sky. That's why we do that every single week. It's to remind you to balance out your masculine, your divine feminine, your divine masculine energies, to allow your feminine to rise up so that she can be strong and show you that space of nurturing and nourishment. Because the more you nurture and nourish yourself from an energetic point of view, using that beautiful, consistent gifting that Mother Earth has for us and Father Sky, it fills in the loneliness and allows us, it gives us the confidence to be able to tackle those harder topics and those harder points of views and belief systems. Okay? You got this. And also connect in with nature some more. Find a river or something, wherever your happy place is. Go do that. Please, over the weekend, at the very least. All right. If you have to be distracted, distract yourself with nature. It's a beautiful thing. Oh, thank you, honey. Alrighty, Lynn. 55. You've waited. You've done a great job. Well done. Okay, Lynn. Clouds. As the clouds roll by, I lay watching. A type of peace comes over me. I've stopped. My thoughts, my worrying, my troubles. For just a short while, I am me, laying there on the grass, watching the clouds as they roll by. Okay, Lynn, I'm getting that you're required to do some breath work and to allow yourself to stop Stop with your monkey mind. And be in that space of peacefulness and allow yourself the space of peacefulness. When was the last time you just laid out on the grass or wherever you can and actually watch the clouds? Hopefully not with all the chemical ones in them, but even they can be fascinating to watch. Not nearly as interesting as the natural clouds, but or watching the rainbows created by a crystal shining in the sun, or a rainbow, or like as a one created by the rain and the sun and the clouds. It's time to pause, breathe, stop running around like a mad thing, because it's like I feel like I'm in like a sprint. It's like my breath is like good. Make more time. There's something with your ribs. What's going on with your ribs? It feels like tightness. That's why I'm like, you need to do some deep breathing. As far as, and what just popped into my head was Wim Hof. I don't know if you've done any of his work before. So Wim Hof is an amazing gentleman who has done a lot of work with breath and holding breath, and has found to be incredible with all sorts of different physical conditions. So at a time when I was my most stressed with the last bigger relationship. Interesting. Maybe it's Enos the girl for you too. But that was a time when I got the Wim Hof meditation off of his, I think it was like maybe YouTube or his website or something like that. And it was one of the most centering and grounding things that I did at that time, when I had a lot going on and lots of big stuff changing and shifting and just go in my world too. I was right in the middle of my very intense feminine journey at that time. Everything was like in my world. And I would do this process each day. And it was incredible. Right. Okay. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you. And I feel that. And I also get a sense that this is going to be one of your pivotal moments in your life where it feels really crap right now. I'm not going to take away from that at all. But yeah, you're going through a dark night. It's okay. I'm glad that you're here in this community, because you'll start seeing now the messages will start coming through. Even though our group is small and intimate, they'll be sending you lots and lots of love. Yeah, I know. I've been married twice. I'm a serial relationshipist. And what's happening at the moment in the world, I don't know if this is going to give you any further comfort, is that the relationships that we have or have been in that are not serving us, that are not for our highest and best, are being removed, so that you can flow into the 5D realm with more ease. Okay, we are all upgrading in big, big ways right now. The 3D dimension is done. All of the chess pieces, if you like, all the game pieces of the 3D realm are done. All of that narcissistic gaslighting, all of that stuff, it's fucking done, because that's all 3D stuff. So the fact that this is happening for you now, and even though it feels like absolute rat shit, as Julie said, your team is around you. Your spirit team is around you. It's supporting you. Please tap in with them. Allow them to surround you. Bring them in. Okay. My first husband, we were together only 7.5 years, but that was enough. He was gaslighting, narcissistic, being with borderline personality disorder. So I totally get that. And the recovery from that can be incredibly intense. And there will be things about, and because you've been in there for so long, is that all about friendships? Absolutely. Absolutely, Edwina. That's friendships too. So my hair is going crazy today. It's because I've been at the beach. Oh, yeah. Bipolar and all the things. Yeah. Delicious. You would have learned a lot, though. There's a reason why you had to be with him, and you had to learn some stuff and remember some things. I know that sounds like shit right now. And I hear you. I feel you. I really do. And there's unfortunately far too many of us in the world that are beautiful light workers and healers and guides and just amazing, beautiful, heart-centered people that end up with these kinds of relationships. And they can be personal, like romantic relationships, they can be friendships, they can be all sorts of things. But like I said before, those interactions and those sorts of relationships are being cleared out right now. Those people are being pushed off to the side as well. So congratulations on having the courage to have lived through and survived through that relationship to now be where you are now. And so he is still trying to gaslight me now and is turning up at the house. Got a better bond with my daughter now. Yeah, of course. That's a beautiful thing. I'm glad that you're connecting with your daughter so beautifully now. One of the things that helped me a lot at that time when I was in my recovery process, because I ended up with situational depression after the end of that relationship, was spending time with the people who really truly cared about me, who weren't just out to take from me, who were able to have the capacity to listen to me. And as I uncovered all of these different aspects of my healing journey, and they had the space and the capacity to do so. Now, I think I saw there that you have been getting some help, which is wonderful. Keep doing that. Do the things, and just be aware that the help will change as you continue to heal. Your help and your requirements of help is going to change over time. Okay. Okay, I know I have a purpose now, but still grieving inside. Oh yes, you'll be grieving for a while. And that's okay. Allow yourself to do that. Okay. I never thought I'd do it. I'd ended up in hospital because I tried to take my life 3 weeks ago. I'm getting help for it. He drove me to a crazy stage. Yeah. That's what the gaslighting narcissists do, darling. I'm really proud of you for continuing on, for getting some help and being so vulnerable in this space. Thank you. Thank you. I know what that space feels like. It's not unusual. If you were to read my book, you would know that that's a journey that I've also been through. It is intense, and just sending you so much love right now. I'm going to tell you now, one of the things that my mum, who I don't necessarily connect well with these days, but at the time when my first marriage ended, she said to me one of the very few things that is just so beautiful. She had a moment of kind weakness, kindness, one of these very rare moments. She said to me, whatever you require to do for you, do it. If you require to cry, just cry. Don't hold it in. Don't push it away. Allow yourself to do that. If you require to rest, then rest. If you require to eat, eat. If you don't want to eat, don't eat. She was basically saying, please listen to your body. Now, she's not spiritually aware at all. But that was one of those very rare moments with my mother where she was basically giving me the verbal permission, because she knows what it's like to feel like you don't know what to do with yourself. So this is me giving you permission to do so. Well, do what you require to do for you. If that's what you need, if that was what you required to hear, somebody say, please do what you require to do for you. I'm saying this to you now. It's vital. And also know that you are loved, that you are not alone. Sadly, too many of us have been through this sort of thing. It's not uncommon. But equally, there are just as many of us who have been through it, have healed from it, have found the places of gratitude within that, and gotten to a place where we can now help others. There's also the people that haven't healed from it, that are now bitter, spiteful old women. So the aloneness comes because we wrap ourselves around the person who is narcissistic and their life. Their life becomes our life. So we lose, when we split up, we lose that sense of purpose. We lose, like for me, I lost my job, I lost my husband, I lost my house, I lost my cat. I had nothing. I lost all my money because he ripped all the money out of the joint bank account. I had nothing but a big, huge bunch of debt. I lost what I felt like. I lost all my friends. Partly because I went through and just deleted all my contacts in my phone because I didn't know who to trust anymore. Figured those that actually really wanted something to do with me would actually contact me. The crazy things we think, right? It is one of the most scary things in the world when you're fully on your own for the first time. Yeah. I feel you. So, yes, you've got a long journey. I'm not gonna fairy coat that one. But you can do this. You come this far. And I wouldn't trust him. Okay. With my ex, my first husband, he, with the borderline personality, he went you've got two paths that you can take with borderline. You can go either the self-harm way or you can go the promiscuity way. He went promiscuity. And when we reconnected for after an intense 4 months of healing for me, where I wasn't working, I was working alongside my granddad and doing farm work and things like that, where I was just being really super nurtured and nourished once I actually got back to being able to do anything at all. And we reconnected because there was some things that we had to sort out. And he said to me, is there a chance that we could try again? And I looked at him and I cracked up laughing. We were standing in the bloody McDonald's car park in Napier because I couldn't trust him. I just laughed it in his face. And I said to him, I don't trust you. I couldn't trust you to stay in the fucking bed at nighttime. I would have to police handcuff you to the fucking bedpost to make sure you stayed there. And even then, I couldn't trust that you weren't off sleeping with other people. So no. You will find your strength in a way that will surprise you at times, because as Julie said, you will know that you have an amazing strength within. Always believe you have it, even though you might not feel it. Okay. Once all the property stuff is done, once that's sorted, I know the selling of the house sucks in some ways, but it's important that you make fast, clean breaks, especially with narcissists. And once that's done, as little contact as possible. There's a really, really good resource on YouTube, and it's this beautiful, wonderful psychologist called Dr. Romani. And she specializes in narcissistic and gaslighting people. I highly recommend you watch her videos, gain some awareness and therefore some strength. She gives loads of hints and tips and tools around dealing with people who are narcissists and gaslighting. I'll just do 50-50. Don't do the lawyer thing if you can avoid it, because they'll get their they like, for me, when I walked away from my marriage, the first one especially, I actually left with basically the things that I walked in with, and all the rest of the stuff we divided directly down the middle as such. But I actually left him with more than what he felt he could cope with. Sure. Yeah, cool. I'm glad you're already aware of her. Yeah. Yeah. So Dr. Romani, she does lots of little snippets and videos on YouTube. So interesting. Yeah. Thank you. Keep going. You've got this. Keep showing up for yourself. Be kind, be gentle, be nurturing to yourself. Listen to your body really, really deeply and really intensely. Okay? She knows how to keep you moving through this. Yes, she's sore. Yes, she's hurting. Yes, she's, and I mean from a energetic cellular level. But you got this. Listen to your body. And you know, that whole grey walling thing, vital. This is going to be one of those moments where you are going to find your boundaries and you will become very strong with those boundaries. So it's pretty awesome. I'm excited for you, actually. I really am. I'm excited to see where you go from here. I'm excited to see your progression in your journey, and to see what sparkles in your world as you grow and heal from this grief and this process and this time and this pivot in your life. I mean, gosh, the thing is that you're teaching your daughter how to stand up for herself. And so that she knows, she's starting to see that it's important to love and nurture and nourish yourself and be in a loving, nurturing, nourishing relationship. You're going to require a bit of healing from that first, though. So, yeah. There's some beautiful processes that I do in my one-on-one sessions that, because I've been there. So I come from that beautiful space of like the wounded healer, I guess you can say in the psychology terms, where I've already been through it and I've healed a lot and done a lot of work with others who have been through similar situations. And there's some beautiful processes that I've learned along the way to help. So yeah, you got this. Thank you for coming tonight, and thank you for being a part of Find You Fridays. It's a beautiful thing to have your energy here today. Edwina, my sweet, sweet woman. Are you still floating around, my dear, before I read your poem out? Oh, that's fantastic, Lynn. Yeah, of course your ex hated it. Yay! Because it empowers you. And the one thing that narcissists don't want you to be is empowered. So yes, more modality stuff. Do some swaps. Okay, so if you're a Reiki master, you will have been connected to many other Reiki practitioners. Do some swaps. Join up with, and the beautiful thing is there are so many groups out there now of doing all sorts of energetic healing and swaps and things. Groups, get into some women's healing groups, like women's gathering type groups that do maybe meet up. There's spiritual groups, there's all sorts of stuff out there. Get out there and do that stuff, and you'll find your healing process will be much quicker, because the grief will come up and you'll be supported by other women. And even if it's just for a couple of hours, once every 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, it's like, and that becomes your next most safe space. Okay. Of course. Like, it's yeah, as a gaslighting narcissist, he wants everything to be about him. And the stories I could tell of similar stuff, you know, even just the one thing that popped into my mind, and I'll just say it just quickly before I move to Edwina and her poem, is he had absolutely no qualms about me, because we had one car. He had no qualms about me waiting for him after work in the car, whether it be hot, cold, whatever, for 45 minutes, an hour and a half. But if he had to wait for me for longer than 5 minutes, he was tooting on the horn. He was ringing my phone or ringing the work phone to find out why I hadn't come out yet. He was happy for me to walk to his parents' place in the pouring rain than wait 5 minutes for me to come out to the car. But he was more than happy to make me wait. So yeah, it has to be all about them on their timeline, and their, you know, everything has to be about them. And, you know, money was a big thing. He was a massive spender. But I wasn't allowed to spend anything. He got me to a point where I felt guilty about spending $5 on myself. So that was some trauma that I had to heal as well. Good. I'm glad you're getting in touch with people. Good. Keep doing that. Keep connecting. Sending you lots of love, Lynn. All right, Edwina. I love this poem. 88. Gratitude, the space between seconds. Stumbling through life, hints of awareness whisper, only to be discounted or made wrong. Hoping and wishing something else is possible. Gleaning information, slowly gaining ground and pace. Shaking off the shackles and lies, creating a brand new existence where knowing and awareness pulse. Seeing what is and what isn't with clarity. Playing with choice and expansion. Becoming more at ease, falling in love with true self, seeing the molecules, perceiving the energy flows, receiving different beings, creating new possibilities, and embracing the gratitude, flowing into and through the space between seconds. This poem makes me so happy. So the things that were sticking out for me with you, Edwina, is that you are in the middle of that poem process at the moment of, like, you're gaining ground and pace, and you're shaking off the stuff that no longer serves you. And it's like you're really starting to perceive this brand new reality for you. Like you are creating this new space and existence for yourself, but at the same time it's coming with a little bit of upheaval, and it's kind of maybe feeling a bit uncomfortable at the moment, and that's okay. It's okay. The knowing and the awareness are just boom, 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 boom. I don't know if you've ever been in a sound healing session where they do the drum and they do the heartbeat, and it goes boom, 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 boom. And it's like, this is what I'm perceiving with you. It's just like this boom, boom, boom of your awareness. It's just going, you got this, you got this, You got this. You got this. We've got this. And it's really fucking exciting. And it's challenging you, but in a really good way. So what I would say for you, Edwina, is when you start feeling those moments of resistance popping up, going, oh, this is making me feel a bit uncomfortable, but it's like it's a new thing and that's why I'm feeling uncomfortable. Lean in to that and listen for that beat of your awareness going, da-da-dum. We've got this. We've got this. We've got this. And also, apparently, if you don't know any EFT tapping, find some videos, YouTube videos about that. Because apparently that's what you require to hear to help you get through. Okay. And start moving some of those energies of unsureness or like insecure. It's not really insecurity. It's more of, and it's tiny little smidgen of fear, but more of a self-doubt side of things of like, I don't know if I'm really feeling what I'm feeling, and I don't know if this is like true for me, and I don't know, like all of the I don't knows are no longer a thing. You do know, and it's just that you haven't quite got your language or the information interpretation yet, and that's okay. You're still remembering. It's not about learning, it's about remembering. Okay. Come out of my comfort zone. I've been to exercise group. Excellent. Yay. Keep going. Keep doing it. You got this. Your body is absolutely fucking loving it. And yeah, the heartbeat. Listen for that heartbeat of awareness. You got this. This is such an exciting poem for you. I'm so excited for you. And you are truly falling in love with your true self. So the other thing, oh, you're doing Reiki too. Yay! Love it. Absolutely love it. I'm so excited for you. Yay! More Reiki in the world. I love it. As my teacher said the other day, every man and his dog knows how to do Reiki. Now, obviously, there's still not quite every man and his dog yet, because I'm only just learning or remembering, and so are you. So that's good. And the gift that will be for you and your family and everything, amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right. So let us, it's time. Have a little drink of water. Okay. Hopefully you've got some near you. And let me just remind you of a little something right now. So just in case you had forgotten, I do online sessions. I also really like doing in-person sessions, but online sessions are just as amazing. So let us now have a moment and let us have a bit of a drop down and do a bit of guided meditation. So if our lovely ones are still floating around that are new, welcome. And the process that I'm talking about throughout this whole show tonight of the expanding out process, I'm going to take you through that now. And then we'll see where we go after that. So close your eyes, take a big deep breath in, all the way down to the bottom of your belly. And breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. And this time, as you breathe in, bring Mother Earth energy all the way up your body, up through your legs, all the way up through your belly, into your crown. And as you breathe out, bring Father Sky energy all the way down from the crown, all the way down to your fingertips and your toes. Bringing Mother Earth energy all the way up with unconditional love as you breathe in. And now bringing Father Sky energy all the way down with gratitude for everything and everyone at the same time. Yes, even the shitty people in our worlds. The people that trigger us and activate us, they are there to show us the spaces and places that we have not healed yet. So they're actually a gift, even though it may not seem like it at the time. Breathing in, bringing that unconditional love all the way up through the body once again. And breathing out, bringing gratitude for everything and everyone as that beautiful Father Sky energy comes all the way down. Ooh, I'm moving lots of energy today. This is wonderful. And now become aware of your body. Become aware of the position that it is in, whether it's sitting or lying down, or standing, I suppose, wherever it is. Become aware of the clothes on your body, if you're wearing some. Become aware of the air around you. And now expand out your awareness in a beautiful big bubble to fill up the room that you're in. All the way up to the ceiling and all the way out to all the four corners on the floor. And now expanding out your awareness in that beautiful big bubble up into the sky and down into Mother Earth. So that is greater than the place that you're in, greater than the town or the city that you're in. Up into the sky, down into the earth, expanding out your awareness, greater than the country that you're in, greater than the planet, expanding out your awareness, greater than the solar system. And it's okay if this is feeling really challenging at the moment. Just trust in the process. You'll feel good shortly. Don't worry, you'll be okay. Expanding out your awareness, greater than the solar system, greater than the galaxies. Now greater than the universes. Beautiful. Well done, well done, well done. Now keeping your awareness nice and expanded out, grab your sense, focus now on your body. And now expand out your sense of allowance. And your sense of allowance is the ability to perceive, know, be, and receive everything from no point of view. So you're not caught up in the emotions of it all. You go from being that tiny little pebble at the bottom of a raging river of everybody else's thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and expand out to become the big fluffy cloud floating over the top of the raging river, and you can see it for exactly what it is. It's just energy. It's not good energy or bad energy. It's just energy. The significance is no longer there. The resistance and the reaction is no longer there. You just perceive it for what it is. That is what being an allowance is. So now we expand out our allowance greater than the building that we're in, up into the sky, down into Mother Earth, expanding out our allowance greater than the country that we're in, greater than the planet, expanding out our allowance greater than the solar system, greater than the galaxies, greater than the universes, and now greater than our awareness. Take a big deep breath in and out. If you're yawning a lot, that's a good sign. You're releasing a lot of energy. And that is the energetic expanding out process that we do every single week. You can use this process in all sorts of situations. You can use it before you drive. You can use it while you're driving. You can use it before you have an interaction between you and somebody that you're struggling with. You can use it before you call, like organizations where things might get a bit heated or tense. You can use it in all sorts of different ways. You can use it before you go shopping so that people don't bother you so much. You can use it to make a noisy environment feel slightly quieter. I used this process many, many times in restaurants, and it worked beautifully. So now I'm just tuning in with all of our teams and with the collective to see what is required for the next part of our session tonight. Okay. So what I'd like you to do is to imagine your hands are out in front of you. You can place them in front of you if you like, on your lap or wherever. But imagine that your hands are in front of you and you've got a big, big piece of polished rose quartz in front of you, in front of your heart chakra. And that big, beautiful piece of rose quartz is swirling around gently, very, very gently, slowly moving. And as it is slowly moving, it's rotating. And as it does so, it is starting to draw out any negative, any heart hurts that are happening for you right now. Any of those places where there's shock, trauma, and heartache, it is drawing it all out of your body and transmuting that energy into beautiful, heart-centered, nourishing, nurturing energy, which is now flowing out over your hands, back through and around your arms, up through your shoulders, all that potent, gorgeous, sparkly, magical rose quartz energy, that loving energy is moving up through your neck into the crown, through your skull and your skin and your hair follicles, contributing to all of those elements of your body, helping them to feel nourished and nurtured. And if there's any stress, any pain that is locked away in any areas that this energy is now touching, that gets released back through so it can be transmuted into this gorgeous energy. It goes back through the crystal in front of you, the rose quartz crystal. Just take a big deep breath as you require to. Allow this energy to move through you. We're shifting and changing those old energies that are no longer serving you. We're doing this healing for ourselves right now. If you feel like you're required to let a few tears go, then please just let them flow. It's totally okay. You're in a safe place right now, and you're surrounded by love. And if you're somebody who has been experiencing deep levels of abuse and trauma, it can feel very strange to have and be in a space where you feel so loved and seen and cared for and nourished. It might feel unsafe in a weird way, because this is a space that you're not familiar with. And that's the trauma speaking. So wherever this is landing in your body, allow that energy to move out and through the crystal to be transmuted into that beautiful unconditional love, the rose quartz energies coming back up your arms, moving down through your throat and your neck, through your heart and your back and your shoulders. Keep seeing that flow going, pulling. Rose quartz is literally pulling out of your body any and all heart-centered hurts, any hurts that are sitting in your cells and molecules. It is pulling it all out, sucking it out of you so it can do the hard work and giving you some healing, some relief, some nurturing and nourishing, and reminding you that you are not alone in this big, beautiful, wacky journey that is a spiritual journey. We are a spiritual body having a human experience, and it's important to remember that. This beautiful crystalline energy, this rose quartz energy, is now moving down through all of the parts of your torso, through your belly, and your hips and your back, all the way down your spine, all the cells and molecules, all the way through your organs, through your pelvis, through your legs and your knees, through your shins and your calves, through your ankles, all the way down through your tippy toes, filling up all the spaces and places where trauma once sat. Feel your body chill and relax. And now we give thanks to the rose quartz which is in our hands. And if you wish to hold on to the energetic representation of this beautiful rose quartz, if you feel and you perceive that there is more work to be done, you are welcome now to place that energetically, bring that into your heart space so it can continue to do its work. Pulling on all of those old energies, those old hurts, and transmuting them into that unconditional love, the rose quartz love throughout your body. If you perceive that that process is done for you for now, I invite you to take that rose quartz and place it into the ground, returning it to Mother Earth, where we give deep gratitude and thanks for creating this crystal in the first place, and for all the work that it has done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. We'll do our grounding process. So once again, we're going to bring breathing in, bringing Mother Earth energy all the way up. Father Sky energy all the way down. Mother Earth energy and unconditional love all the way up as we breathe in. Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone as we breathe out. And just one more, breathing in. And breathing out. Feel your shoulders relax. Give your neck a little bit of a wiggle. Give your fingers and your toes a wiggle. If your rest of your body requires a bit of a stretch, please do that now. Now when you're ready, open your eyes. That was fun. I love how every single one of those is so different. Because you guys create those guided meditations each week. It's based on the readings that we've had together and what the collective tells me is required. So I'm so grateful for you all. Thank you. I look forward. Yeah. Thank you, Julie. I'm glad you enjoyed that one. There's a lot of shifting and changing going on for everybody right now. And just having those moments of quietness is so required. I hope you have a beautiful weekend too, Julie. And I'm grateful for you. So, as a gentle reminder, please have some water now. We have done a little bit of energy work there, and you may also be requiring a little bit of salt, even if it's just a little pinch of Himalayan salt or something into your mouth, and then drink some water. Please do that. You require that for the detox process. And then you might also be hankering something a little bit sweet. So even if it's just a little bit of fruit or something like that, a few blueberries or something, please do that too, because the water and the sweetness, the glucose is what our cells require for nourishing and nurturing and hydration of our cells. Okay, so please do that. That's a part of self-care, self-nourishing and nurturing. So of course I'll be back next week, same bat time, same bat place, for those of you who are old enough to remember that particular phrasing. And in the meantime, please be kind to yourselves, be nurturing and nourishing and gentle. Remember compassion over this week to come. Remember there'll possibly be some inner child work coming up. So please stay in your heart-centered spaces. Do something tasty for yourself over the weekend. I don't really mind what it is, but please do something kind and nourishing for you. And until next week, be bold, be brave, be you, my beautiful ones. See you soon. Bye.